Did you know that the average person consumes up to 60% of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods? That's a staggering number, and it's not doing our bodies any favors. If you're wondering what that's doing to your body, stay tuned. Today, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about ultra-processed foods and the long-term effects they have on your health. We're talking about everything from weight gain and heart disease to cognitive decline and even damage to your gut. Before you grab that snack, you might want to listen closely, because what's inside your food could be harming you more than you realize. Stick with me as we dive into the science behind these foods and how they impact everything from your brain to your metabolism. First things first, what are we even talking about when we say ultra-processed foods? It's not always easy to tell. Sometimes it feels like everything in the grocery store has been processed in some way. But ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, are those things that are in packages sitting on shelves and often seem too convenient to resist. Think about it. Ready-to-eat meals, those sugary cereals you see advertised on TV, fast food. We all know fast food is on the list. Packaged snacks that you just rip open and pop in your mouth, and even sugary drinks. These foods are typically made with ingredients you wouldn't find in your pantry or refrigerator. We're talking about chemicals, additives, artificial colors that stain your fingers, and preservatives designed to make sure these foods last on the shelf for months, maybe even years, and of course, to enhance taste or texture. Because let's face it, these foods are engineered to be hyper-palatable. So why are they so popular? Well, the answer is simple: convenience. They're cheap, quick to prepare. In fact, they're often ready to eat right out of the package, and they taste good. Too good, in fact, which is why we keep going back for more. But as convenient as they are, these foods come with some serious consequences for your health. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today. It's time to pull back the curtain and see what these ultra-processed foods are really doing to your body. Let's start with your metabolism, that engine inside you that keeps everything running. Our bodies are finely tuned machines designed over millennia to process natural whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. Ultra-processed foods, on the other hand, often contain refined sugars and unhealthy fats that our bodies weren't designed to handle in such large amounts. It's like putting the wrong fuel in your car. It might seem to work for a little while, but eventually it's going to cause some serious damage. When you eat ultra-processed foods, your body quickly breaks them down, leading to a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. This causes your insulin to spike, and over time, constantly bombarding your system with these sugar rushes can lead to insulin resistance, which is one of the key risk factors for type 2 diabetes. And here's the thing about UPFs. They don't just mess with your metabolism, they also increase your hunger. That's right, these foods are engineered to make you crave more. Have you ever noticed how you can polish off a whole bag of chips and still feel hungry? That's because their highly processed nature doesn't leave you feeling full and satisfied, which means you end up eating more than you should, and that leads to unwanted weight gain. So, not only are these foods messing with your metabolism, they're also tricking your body into wanting more and more, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break free from. Next, let's talk about the cardiovascular system, your heart and blood vessels. It's well known that ultra-processed foods are linked to a higher risk of heart disease, the leading cause of death worldwide. Why is this? Well, it's pretty straightforward. UPFs often contain trans fats, those really bad fats that are basically banned in many countries. Added sugars that spike your blood sugar, and sodium, which can raise your blood pressure. All of these are major contributors to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and inflammation, the trifecta of heart disease risk factors. Studies have shown that people who consume a lot of ultra-processed foods have a significantly higher risk of developing heart disease. In fact, one study found that for every 10% increase in the consumption of ultra-processed foods, the risk of heart disease increased by 12%. That's a pretty significant jump. But here's the thing. These foods often don't provide any nutritional value. So while you're loading up on extra calories, sugar, unhealthy fats, and sodium, your body isn't getting the essential nutrients it needs to function properly, and that's a recipe for disaster in terms of heart health. You're essentially starving your body while giving it a bunch of junk it doesn't know what to do with. Now let's get to the brain, the command center of your entire body. You might be surprised to hear that ultra-processed foods aren't just bad for your body, they could also be damaging your brain. And that's not something you want to mess around with. Research has shown that diets high in ultra-processed foods are associated with an increased risk of cognitive decline, memory loss, and even conditions like Alzheimer's disease, which is a scary thought. The high levels of sugar, refined grains, and unhealthy fats in these foods can cause inflammation in the brain, which is thought to be a key factor in neurodegenerative diseases. And it's not just about long-term decline either. These foods can also affect your mood and mental health right now. Studies have linked diets rich in ultra-processed foods to a higher risk of depression and anxiety. Think about it, the constant spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels from these foods don't just affect your metabolism, they mess with your mental state too. You know that feeling you get after a sugar rush? You're up and then you crash? Imagine that happening to your brain all the time. It's not a recipe for a happy or healthy mind. But wait, there's more. Ultra-processed foods are also wreaking havoc on your gut health. You know, your gut is often called your second brain, and for good reason. The gut microbiome, those trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, plays a critical role in everything from digestion to immunity to mood regulation. It's an incredibly complex and important ecosystem. And what do ultra-processed foods do to this delicate balance? They disrupt it. These foods are typically low in fiber, which is essential for feeding the good bacteria in your gut. Fiber is like the fertilizer for your gut garden. Without it, the good bacteria can't thrive. A poor diet high in ultra-processed foods has been linked to conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, leaky gut syndrome, and other digestive disorders. So if you want to keep your gut happy and healthy, and trust me you do, it might be time to cut back on those processed snacks and focus on feeding your gut what it needs to thrive. So what can you do to protect your body from the dangers of ultra-processed foods? The answer is simple, but not always easy. Prioritize whole, natural foods. Focus on fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains. These are the foods your body craves and thrives on. Cook at home when you can and limit your consumption of processed snacks and ready-to-eat meals. I know it's convenient, but your health is worth the extra effort. When you make the switch, your body will thank you. You'll have more energy, better digestion, improved mood, and a healthier heart. It's all about making small, sustainable changes that benefit your long-term health. By making informed choices and opting for whole, natural foods, you can improve your health and start feeling better today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content on how to take care of your body. And remember, your health is your most valuable asset. Take care of it.